Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to End of Life Conversations, where Wakil and I sit and think about different parts of dying and what it means and how we can share that with all of you. And today I've been talking about, we just recently interviewed somebody who has began a magazine, and I ordered it. Is it going backwards for
No,
this?
it's
Is it
right. It's good.
Candlelight? So, Candlelight Magazine is for those who want to talk about all things death and dying, just like we do. And I came upon something that I think that we have never actually really talked about, and that's how grief affects one's body.
Mm,
And
yeah.
in we always encourage people to take the time to do their grief work, to not be ashamed when there's a lot of tears or they yearn to sleep and rest. It is all appropriate.
Yeah.
And, then we also have had grief counselors to come on the podcast and talk about
Mhm.
what services they would provide. But I don't think we've ever talked to somebody who talks about when grief gets stuck in your body.
Mm. Mm.
And it is a thing. And,
Yeah.
there's a whole body of research now that talks about, and actually it's been coming out since that book in the 90s about the tiger. I'll have to look for the book. I think I have a copy. But
Okay.
uh, when we experience something, it is memorized in the body. Not only do we have
Mhm.
it in our mind, but our body is also containing that moment. And it brings me back to when I went through my sister's death. I remember talking to a spiritual director,
Mhm.
and I had just mentioned to her that my toe was hurting, my second toe was hurting.
Mm. Wow.
And out of nowhere, she said, "Can we put a pause on our other conversation? And I want to talk about your toe." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Have you told your body that your sister has died?" And I said, "I
Wow.
I haven't." And she's like, "Well, intellectually, you have already been processing this. You've been at the hospital, you've seen it happen, you were with her when she died. Your heart is broken, you're grieving. This is the part where, the love and grief is moving through." But she's like, "We are still bodies, and our
Mm.
bodies tend to be a little slower on the uptake." And she's like, "You have to spend some time saying to your body, 'We will never hug her again. You won't see her.'
Mm. Mm.
And, your toe might actually be an indicator that it knows something is going on, but nobody is, like, talking about it."
Wow.
So I was like, "Okay, that's a really fascinating take," and I did. I think after that session, I, did a whole kind of touching and meditating, like, my feet, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, uh, blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh, she's gone, she's died," and, I created my own somatic support.
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool.
It is
Yeah.
really cool, and I think people suffer, right? Because they don't know
Yeah,
what's going
yeah.
on.
And we know too through epigenetics that we suffer some of the things we're suffering come from well before we even showed up, and that's
That's
also
right.
been there's a lot of science around that these days too. So that we, just paying attention, I guess that's what it comes down to, listening to your somatic responses to a lot of different things. I often find myself or a practice that I've learned that has helped me a lot is when I find myself reacting in some way,
Mhm.
like with anger or despair or whatever, when I just feel big feelings, to take some time to breathe and find out where in my body that's showing up.
That's right.
Um, because that's a clue, that's a little hint, that sometimes that happens before you even do the reactivity, So you're like, oh my, I'm tensing up in that. Oh yeah, that's that. I've learned about that now. I know what that is, and doing that
Mhm.
work, the ritual around, paying attention like the IFS, interfamily systems,
Systems. Yeah,
yeah, just noticing all those parts of you, and that can sometimes be connected to different parts of your body that react in
that's
different
right.
ways.
So first of all, somatic, for those of you who have never heard that word, it just means your body, your
Yeah,
physical body, right?
yeah.
And all the connectiveness that we inhabit. And so, I have talked about grief and how to ritualize your grief, how to
Mhm.
make altars, how to sing a song, or how, there's practices that Joaquin and I have shared before.
Yeah.
And this episode, I wanted to just kind of tap it up a little bit more
Hmm.
to recognize that you might have already found a bereavement counselor to check in with. You
Mhm.
may have gone to a death cafe and shared your story. You may have really supportive family members who are around you and holding you
Mhm.
and trying
Mhm.
to feed you, and
Yeah.
yet you still feel heavy, constricted. Maybe you just like something hurts. Maybe like me, it was like my toe, my second, specifically my second toe.
Hmm.
Something is in your body that you're mildly paying attention to, but you can't, you're just up in your head or your heart, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, in this episode, I just want you to know that we're going to talk about different ways that you can metabolize or
Mm.
have this grief be land in a field where it grows good things out of it. That
Mm.
your sadness and your tears will move you into this new phase of who you are.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you mourn the loss of both your parents, and I've heard from some people that they feel like orphans.
Yeah.
How does
Yeah.
being an orphan, like now you're born again as somebody with no physical parents? So,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Where does that show up? Right?
Right. So where's it showing up? So let's begin. What are the ways we do is we ritualize grief. I
Yeah.
always, tell people physically make an altar.
Yeah.
If you can, put a photo, light a candle. I love to add a glass of water because I feel like my ancestors are still around, and this is how I'm still trying to take care of them. Here's some water.
Mm.
Here's a
Mhm.
little salt for your journey, a little
Ah.
electrolyte.
Which I was am enjoying this morning.
That's right. The other piece is when you feel like you're really woozy and you can't figure out what's going on, find a solid space.
Mm.
Go lie down on the ground outside if you can,
Yeah.
or just push your furniture away and find a spot to lay on your ground and be supportive. And one of the most beautiful memories I have when I was studying Iyengar yoga, our teacher would always, when we finished up with Shavasana or began with Shavasana at times, he would always remind us that, feel where your body is connected to that solid ground
Mhm.
and recognize that you are being held.
Mm.
Even if it's not, soil or a meadow of lavender, is still earth beneath you in the form
Yeah.
of, a floor.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
take that moment to connect and just be supine and be grounded. That's all it
Mm.
means.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, yeah. I mean, one of my favorite practices, especially when I'm on silent retreat, is to, end my morning meditations by just laying out on the ground, in the dirt,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And, last week's weekly thing, we talked about the mycelia, that we
Yeah.
are and so when I do that, even and you're right, even on the floor in my house,
Mhm.
just that you can kind of if you use your active imagination,
That's right.
you can connect, you can find yourself, you can feel those connections and feel
Mhm.
them connecting out to everything, but also
Mhm.
maybe to directly to people that have gone on or
That's
to
right.
people you're thinking about and caring about or that are having problems. You can pull all of those strands of the tapestry, just give a little tug and go, "Yeah, I hear you, I feel you." And
Mhm.
that internal part too, that's again where we're coming back to what parts
Mhm.
of you are responding to those little tugs when whether maybe they're coming from somewhere else. How's that landing in your body?
Yes. Yep.
So
That's right.
that's
So another thing you can do is go take a walk. Just go take a walk.
always good, always good.
Always good. Even if it's a 5-minute walk, you just put your shoes on, you go out, and if you need to cry, like I always say to people, when my sister died, I walked around Berkeley, California, bawling like a calf. I was just like, "Ah." You can do that.
Yeah,
Generally,
yeah,
people will ignore you, but, you can do that. You can
yeah.
just go for a walk, and if it just needs to be quiet, infusing your lungs with the oxygen that our planet offers us, sustaining
Mm.
energy, right? This is what
Yeah,
keeps us
yeah.
alive. Just go out and connect with the world. The other pieces you can, as you're walking or if when you're home on the ground, stretch
Mm.
your body because part of what grief does to us, it wants us to be like small and constricted.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
it's an ache that we're trying to hold on to, but sometimes when you recognize that it's been around a little bit too long for you and you're uncomfortable, just stretch, open up your heart,
Mm,
stretch your
mhm,
body.
mhm.
Maybe just give us, like, a an active imagination hug to the universe and just say,
Hmm,
"Thank you
mhm.
for this moment."
Yeah, or your little child inside you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
little baby child. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and also I wanna just point out too that, not everybody can get out and take a walk, not everybody can
That's true.
move their bodies in this way, so we wanna make sure that everybody knows that it doesn't matter the way you do this, it just matters that you're thinking about how you can connect, whether it's just laying back in your bed or,
On your
in your
wheelchair
wheelchair,
or
yeah,
yeah.
or
Yeah,
having
yeah.
somebody carry you or having somebody
Yeah.
walk with you. Yeah, just, just find that whatever way works for you to reconnect. I think that's the main thing, right? Just to connect and let go, loosen and connect,
Yes.
and, we were just
Yes.
tapping before we started. That's a really
Yes.
great practice, just kind of know your body goes, "Oh, wow, I love
Yeah.
that."
Well, and tapping brings you into the here and now too, right?
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
assures you that you're safe and that you're held. But I was just thinking, if our listener is in a wheelchair or has, like, physical pieces that are really hard for them to just move, well, if you're comfortable, ask somebody to stretch you, give you a
Mm.
grief stretch, right? Like,
Wow,
just
yeah.
open up your arms and, there was I was also in modern dance years and years ago, and our teacher had learned Palu Palu. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I
I
haven't
think
heard
that's
that.
what it's called.
Palu Palu? Mm.
Yeah, but she would come by and, she would shake us.
Oh.
She would shake us after class as we were lying there and just
Mm.
shake our bodies until we, like, stretched out a little bit, and she would just leave us there, and I
Mm.
loved that, so
Wow, what a great gift to people. And, the other thing we can offer people here is too is that if you have friends that could use this, that gift,
yeah,
give them that
offer.
gift. Offer to give them a
Yeah,
stretch or a shake or tap or a scratch,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, we can all do
Come
this
back
for
to
each
our
other.
bodies,
Yeah.
yes. And, when you're in the throes of grief, sometimes it
Mhm.
might be really difficult to eat, and your appetite is gone, and you want the body to not be important because your heart hurts. Your heart hurts
Yeah.
so much. But find a way to make a little tea. Find a
Mm.
way to just eat a lot of soft foods, just warm foods, so that you can nourish the body that is holding this grief for you.
Mm.
Remember, it's a
Yeah.
container, and
Mhm.
you don't need to go out for a hamburger or, something decadent. What you need is sweet, small, simple foods,
Mm. Yeah.
connecting your body back to our earth.
Yeah. And
And
yeah, and that again is something you can do for others too.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
N
Yeah.
no, like, super rich foods. Sometimes all people need are toast and a little butter,
Mhm. Mhm.
or just a little rice and, salt. I mean, honestly, after crying so much, you probably need a little a little salt.
Yeah, yeah. And, if you need ice cream, get ice cream,
That's true too. That's true.
Yeah, take care of
So
yourself. Bottom line, be kind to yourself, be kind to people you're working with
that's
or
right.
you're being with, yeah,
So
yeah.
the last one I'm gonna share with you is if you are having a hard time connecting with another human
Mhm,
and or you're somebody who is not and does not enjoy being touched or held, I would say go find a pillow
mm,
and hold it and rock it and just squeeze it and use that as an element to bring you back into your body. You're actually active, you're holding. That pillow can be what mirrors back to you in love and connection
mhm,
and
mhm.
sweetness and appreciation for the grief that you're holding and that you're just chomping through. So,
Yeah, yeah, or a stuffed toy
a
or a
stuffed animal,
or a
yeah,
pet, or even a pet.
or a pet. If your
You still
pet
put up with
enjoys that,
it.
that's right. Sometimes like, "No, I don't want that."
Depends on the pet, right?
That's
But
right.
yeah,
So
that's such a good advice, great advice. I almost think that, we could all just have, a pillow or a pet or a pet maybe, but a stuffed animal, some kind of soft, squishy thing in our
That's right.
house that's specifically for that purpose that,
For grief time.
I
Yep.
need to go lay down and hold this thing. We could label it, for grief.
Yeah.
If with grief
Oh,
open
that's really
here.
beautiful. Yeah. Actually, I think this would be great for families to have their grief, stuffy, as that they're called now. So that when kids see something that has been lost or is dead, we go to our grief stuffy and hug it and hug it.
Yeah.
Or if you have, like, my son has this ginormous stuffed bear that he won at the Legoland in California. We actually have it out on the porch, but it is
Mm.
so big that if you in the winter when I sit out there, I actually just get in it.
I see it. I remember that when I was there,
Yeah, so it's been there.
yeah.
I don't know what to do with this huge stuffed animal, but, that is something that we could do to provide support for ourselves and for our families
Mhm,
when,
mhm.
there is an element of needing to be held, and sometimes we don't want humans. Sometimes they're too hot or they smell weird, and
Yeah.
we just want to be held, so
Yeah, I love that. In fact, what it made me think of is that we keep trying to think of good ways to, reward our paid subscribers.
give
And
them a
maybe
stuffy.
we give them a stuffy.
Coming soon.
Coming soon to a place near you. Subscribe and you can get one.
That's right. Oh, tell us more about this stuffy. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that is what I offer our listeners today in terms of we know your mind has felt the grief and loss. You know your heart has broken, and now invite your body to be part of the healing process.
Yeah, yeah. Listen carefully. Set that intention, asking your body, and you can
Mhm.
also, again, this always applies both directions. That you can only do this for yourself, but you can do this for beloveds and people that are going through
Mhm.
this. So all these
Mhm.
things are good to learn, good to know about, good to practice,
That's right.
all that everybody needs this all the time, basically. So
That's right.
we're all going through a lot, and
Yeah,
this is just one more tool, and we're happy to share it with you.
that's right.
So thank you,
So
Ana Luisa. That was awesome. Good idea. And and at the beginning, you said we love to do this weekly, and we do also invite our good friend Sam to join us at times. So we're missing Sam today
that's right.
and last week, but just that shout out to Sam, and
Sam.
and we will see you again next time.
That's right.
Adios. Oh, don't
Adios.
forget to subscribe and don't forget to like and tell all your friends.
That's right. That's right.
Adios. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Grief and loss, conversations about the end of life.